I'm very happy to introduce our guest today, Mr. Rajesh Aggarwal from Insecticide India. Today, I want to ask him with a question which is actually very much evident in the public domain, which I feel is not the exact clear picture of the industry. That is, agrochemicals is not helping the farmers or the consumers. It is actually a health hazard. As an industry veteran, what is your opinion, Mr. Rajesh?
I would say it's a misconception. If we look at the world, today the size of agrochemical in the world is more than $60 billion. And if we look at India, India's domestic consumption is roughly about $3 billion, which means 5%. With this 5% of agrochemicals, we are today feeding 17% population of the world. If we look at our country, which is the highest populated country now, so 17% people are living here. And then we are also exporting a lot of food grains. So I would appreciate the effort of our farmer who is not only feeding the 17% population, but also able to export. And we have realized during the COVID period that what is the importance of food, because it is the basic necessity. And if we look at the challenges of our country, whatever our country goes to buy to the outside world, that becomes expensive. Why? Because our demand is so huge. If we cannot do it in-house and if we go outside, then yes, the people eyebrow raises actually, because looking at such a great demand and looking at like demand and sales pressures, they create high price for everything.
Rajesh ji, what I want to ask you one thing. There is a concept that these crop protection companies are making money, but not the farmers. So how do you can say that no, the crop protection companies are actually helping to make money?
It is believed that 1 rupee spent on agrochemical should give 8 to 10 rupees of benefit to the farmer.
Okay.
And today we see most of the medicines are, I would say, 100% doing this actually, and even more.
Okay.
And today if we see the type of research activities which are happening, 10 years or 15 years before, there were flood of old generics actually. Today the new generics have started seeing their entry into India. India is manufacturing its own AIs for these products as we have started getting the registration, though still the process is slow. We can do many new agrochemicals which are off-patented outside the world. But due to the process, I would say, constraints, we are not able to bring those products which we are exporting to the outside farmer. I am not allowed to sell that product to Indian farmer. Why? Because I am not granted the registration. So we as a company and we as an association, we are working with the Ministry of Agriculture that we should be allowed at least the off-patented technologies to be made in India, which are not brought into the country by the inventor, so that our farmer also gets that benefit. But all the other technologies which have already come to India, we are investing on those technologies. We are making the technicals, we are making the formulations, and we are making them affordable, so that a farmer who goes to the market to buy a generic, he can also afford these new generation generics which are more competitive and which are more very specific and which can help him at a low dosage, because all these new generation generics, it's very evident they are more greener chemistries. The quantum of AI which is going to the field is very low, and the target is very specific.
Okay, see, I just want to know, see, I see many of the crop protection or companies are exporting products to even the Europe, America and all other countries. But when it comes to in India, they feel that it is harmful. If so developed countries are aggressively taking the products from India, why Indian population is feeling that it is little harmful to India?
I would say it is just a spread by the media.
Okay.
Today Indian market is $3 billion roughly.
Yeah.
The export from India is more than that, $3.5 billion.
Okay.
So 3.2 and 3.5. And it is expected to touch $10 billion soon. People raise the eyebrows. Why it is rising?
Okay.
But I should say the usage of chemical is the parameter which shows that your country is developed.
Okay.
You cannot avoid the chemical because it is mandatory. It is a must. If you are if you are living in a certain atmosphere, then if we are a tropical country, lot of pest infestation. So we need to kill those pests. If you don't kill them, they are going to eat your crop. Same is good for disease. We have good rainfalls, lot of weed infestation, so weed problem. So you have to control the weeds, otherwise there is a competition with the key plant. So it is very similar, like when a child comes to the family, we have to take full care. The farmer has to take care of his crop.
There is
So-
one misconception I do not know. Feel that, see, I remember in one of our discussion, you asked me, Dominic, if you have a fever, do you take a number of crossings? No, it should be a prescribed amount that will actually help you to get rid of the fever. The same way you said for the agrochemicals also, the judicious usage of chemicals. What the industry is taking initiative in that?
देखिए, इंडस्ट्री लगातार काम कर रही है कि किसान को ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा इन्फॉर्मेशन प्रोवाइड करे। यूनिवर्सिटीज़ अपने रिकमेंडेशन दे रही हैं, कंपनीज नए नए प्रोडक्ट लगातार ला रही हैं। वी आर ब्रिंगिंग साइंटिफिक मिक्सचर्स। द आइडिया इज़ कि एक ही दवा से काम हो जाए और अलग अलग चीज़ें मिक्स ना करनी पड़े और अच्छा रिजल्ट मिले। लेकिन किसान को भी हम डेवलप करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। इंडिया इज़ अ वास्ट कंट्री, लैंग्वेज बैरियर्स, रीचिंग बैरियर्स, दो industry is appointing too many people. The idea is and trying to give the education. We are trying to use social media. We are trying to use different types of communication medias. So the entire idea is to educate the customer and educate him continuously. तो हम लोग उनको बता रहे हैं कि कैसे इस्तेमाल करना है, क्या इस्तेमाल करना है, कितने दिन पहले बंद कर देना है, नए ज़माने की दवाएं देने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। अल्टीमेटली द आइडिया इज़ कि लोगों के मन से मिसकंसेप्शन हटे। आज प्रॉब्लम क्या हो रहा है कि ऑर्गेनिक का शोर हर जगह है। एवरीबडी नीड्स ऑर्गेनिक, व्हाई? बिकॉज दे कैन अफोर्ड। आज के दिन न्यूक्लियर हो रहे हैं फैमिलीज, न्यूक्लियर हो गए हैं तो जो दादा नाना जो करते थे या जो घर में ओल्ड प्रोसेसेस थे वो खत्म हो गए। वी फील प्राउड, हमें लगता है कि हम सब्जी लेने जा रहे हैं बाजार में, जो सबसे चमकदार है वही ऑर्गेनिक है। हमें लगता है जो सबसे अच्छा बड़ा दिख रहा है वो अच्छा है। लेकिन आप सोचें कि अगर किसी बच्चे को टीका नहीं लगा, गांव में रहता है और किसी को पूरी मेडिसिन मिल रही हैं, हु विल बी मोर हेल्थियर? आज के ज़माने में बिना दवा के हेल्दी नहीं हो सकते, आपको एक मिनिमम दवा की ज़रूरत है। ऑर्गेनिक्स मीन्स नो फर्टिलाइजर्स, नो केमिकल फर्टिलाइजर्स, नो पेस्टिसाइड्स, विच इज़ ऑलमोस्ट इम्पॉसिबल। मैं नहीं कहूँगा कि नहीं हो सकता, हो सकता है। देयर आर इनऑर्गेनिक जोन्स इन दी कंट्री, जो दूर दराज के इलाके हैं, पहाड़ के इलाके हैं। अगर हम उनको ऑर्गेनिक जोन में कन्वर्ट करें और वहाँ से उस ऑर्गेनिक क्रॉप को ज़्यादा प्राइस दें और उसको हम प्रमोट करें, तो दैट कैन हेल्प दी फार्मर टू ग्रो, दैट कैन हेल्प दोज एरियाज टू ग्रो, और वहां से कहीं से ऑर्गेनिक फूड ला सकते हैं। बट इफ वी ट्राई टू कन्वर्ट द इनऑर्गेनिक जोन्स इनटू द ऑर्गेनिक जोन्स, दैट वोंट बी अ सॉल्यूशन। बिकॉज लड़ाई पे जाना है तो आज आप मिलिट्री पे कितना पैसा खर्च करते हैं? कैन यू अफोर्ड कि आपकी जो सेना है उसके पास 20 साल पुरानी टेक्नोलॉजी हो? कैन यू फाइट इवन अ स्मॉलेस्ट ऑफ कंट्री? इट इज इम्पॉसिबल। तो सिमिलरली अगर आपको पेस्ट से फाइट करना है, डिजीज से फाइट करना है, वीड से फाइट करना है, यू नीड दी लेटेस्ट सॉल्यूशंस एंड इंडस्ट्री इज बाउंड टू गिव। और लगातार जिस तरीके का R&D सब लोग स्पेंड कर रहे हैं, इनोवेशन में स्पेंड कर रहे हैं, आई एम वेरी वेरी कॉन्फिडेंट नई टेक्नोलॉजी आती जाएंगी, गवर्नमेंट का सपोर्ट मिलेगा, अगर नए प्रोडक्ट्स का रजिस्ट्रेशन मिलेगा तो डेफिनेटली वी कैन मेक इट। वी आर ऑलरेडी मेकिंग इट एंड एक्सपोर्टिंग, एज आई टोल्ड यू। नई नई चीज़ें, जेनरिक चीज़ें, इंडिया इज एक्सपर्ट इन मेकिंग द जेनरिक्स। जब हम बनाते हैं तो सब लोग प्रोडक्शन बंद कर देते हैं। वाई? Because we are so cheap. Cheap means that we are very, very competitive. India gives the atmosphere where you can manufacture 12 months. The resources are cheaper. It may be the manpower, expert manpower, labor, whatever. We are still cheaper than the neighboring countries. If I compare ourselves with country like Thailand, Vietnam, China, we are at least 25 to 30% more cheaper.
So I feel Prime Minister Modi ka Make in India
जी,
actually can be what is a very big role can be played by agrochemical industry.
yes.
So how do you assume what will be the business that can be come from the agrochemical industry with the motto made in India?
देखिए, it's a big opportunity for the country. If we look at today's international scenario, then all the world is looking at China +1 strategy, because they have seen that with the international turn of events, you cannot keep all eggs in one basket. So India is a very important alternate. हम लोग एक मीन्स कॉम्पिटिटिव प्राइसेस पे अच्छी क्वालिटी का माल अच्छी कमिटमेंट के साथ ऑफर कर सकते हैं। वी हैव गॉट दी एबिलिटी, बिकॉज डॉक्टर्स, इंजीनियर्स, किसी चीज़ की इंडिया में कमी नहीं है और कमिटमेंट की भी कमी नहीं है, और आज एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप का माइंड भी है और लोग ग्रो भी करना चाहते हैं। तो आई सी कि दिस इंडस्ट्री टचिंग $10 billion सून, और दैट इज़ नॉट द लिमिट। इंडिया इज़ अ ह्यूज स्कोप। मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में थोड़ा सा सपोर्ट मिले, रजिस्ट्रेशंस में सपोर्ट मिले, both domestic market and international market. Both the markets can grow in a big way from here.
So, what are the policy initiatives you feel can help the industry to be very competitive globally?
देखिए, there are two basic problems. The first problem is the registration. So CIBRC and the Ministry of Agrochemicals, they have to ensure the registration system has to be improved. Continuous improvement is there, but still it needs further improvements because they say we'll give it fast, but the days are not defined and they are not followed. So you have to follow certain concepts, 6 months, 8 months, 9 months, 10 months. So if you follow that concept, then yes, the registrations can be faster. Number one. Number two, there is all duplication of data. When it comes to toxicity, you have to repeat toxic test. When it comes to bioefficacy, even for the generic products, even for the known products, if 10 tests are done already, then also you have to repeat those tests. So you have to relax the guidelines so that the repetition is not required. There are a lot of international published data available. If you can use most part of those published data, then number one, cost goes down, the timeline goes down. If you have developed a product, you can bring it to the market at competitive prices. That becomes faster. Number three, there are a lot of issues with the pollution also. So the guidelines are so stringent. Sometimes you are setting up a plant in the industrial area. That industrial area, the environment clearance is already there. But still they will say that you have to take individual environmental clearance for your plant. It just wastes time actually. Time and money. And at the same time, then whenever you are adding a product, whenever you are reducing a product, whenever you are adding a reactor, whenever you are adding some dryer or boiler or anything, for everything you have to go again and again and again and again. So there is no basic concept, okay, this much of water you will release, for this much water we have given the permission, you have 20 products, if you want to change the product, do it faster. So things are not very fast.
At times you feel you are within India, you are working something different from India. You say, yeah, you have to ask and for everything you have to work for it.
Many times I say that there has to be support for the industry.
Okay.
At least the universities which are in your area, the other government bodies, government has established many research centers and all the things. They are not aligned with the industries. At least you can align with the industries of your district. You can support them, industries can support you. That is possible. We have to build that trust so that everybody moves with one agenda. Today, industry is developing. Why? Because internet revolution is already there. You have got the information, you know the international information. So everybody is developing on the road which is full of speed breaker. I will not say that we are on expressway. Once you are put on expressway, the speed will be
1,000 times better than.
Yes, I can say that actually.
Okay.
So we are working on a road full of speed breakers and potholes, and we are driving in second gear and third gear. We are not able to put the top gear.
Top gear. Okay. See, I just wish to know what will be your plans for next 5 years, which some of the things you think will change the agrochemical industry. What do you feel?
I feel that it's the innovation which is very, very important.
Okay.
And continuously our scientists are working in the R&D centers to do the innovation. When I say innovation, the innovations are of various types. First, we do the innovation of formulations, that how we can make better formulations. Because I believe that a customer never comes for a product. He needs a solution. Sometimes he thinks for the solution, sometimes he is not imagining, but that is the pain area which you have to observe and you have to understand that what is the requirement of the customer. If you can meet his requirement, then of course he feels happy. So you have to make satisfied customers for which you have to provide the solutions. So we are working a lot on the formulations and we are trying to provide the mixtures, the newer formulations, the new generation formulations which are fast degradable. So we are trying to give them better solutions. That is one part. Second part in our R&D is whatever is getting off patented, it is the public regime and you can bring those products to India. Yes. So since when they are the monopoly, they are at highly priced. A farmer cannot afford them. Only the developed farmer can afford them. So we are trying to bring those technologies to the country at an affordable price. So we have done this for dozens of products and we are on our way. We have applied for dozens of registrations more. The idea is to make the technology affordable so that the farmer in the price of a generic can take a new generation generic, which is a monopoly product but more effective, more progressive. So he can use the same products which the progressive farmer is using. And on the third front, we are trying to invent those products actually in a JV with the Japanese company. And these products will not only be used by the Indian farmer, but also by the international farmers. And along with this, we are also working on the biological front. We have set up a biological company. We have got 2 R&D centers of biological, because I believe that biologicals have to coexist along with the chemicals. Because you can start with the biologicals for soil health, plant health, also for insect control, fungal control, disease control. All these things can happen with the biological starting. The way we live actually, the way we use Chawanprash, the way we use Ayurveda, the same practices can be followed by the agriculturist also in his fields. And once he feels that the time has come and the infestation of whatever disease, pest, weed is going up, he can use the chemicals. So we can make a combination, I believe, that will be a more sustainable
It will
approach.
be a coexistence of these both.
Yes, it has to be. Because if we wish to look at the long run, then the only solution is that all the technologies have to coexist, and the consumer should get the opportunity, or the farmer should get the opportunity to use everything.
Okay, so if I ask you, IIL, do you think you have a majority of the stake in some products, some area? You feel you have a majority stake?
We are very, very aggressive across all crops. Rice has been one of the popular crops where we are, I would say, very popular. Cotton, chilies, nowadays even in sugarcane, wheat. So we are present across crops. I would say also in horticulture, tea, potatoes. So we are covering all crops now. But yes, paddy has been the major foray for us. But now we are spreading everywhere.
So see, Rajesh, as we are talking, everyone understands without crop protection materials, we cannot survive in agriculture. But we see every day there is lot of allegations, problems with spurious chemicals. How do industry feel about it, and what are your thoughts on it?
A lot of efforts are being made to curb this spurious product. The latest being the QR code, which the government is trying to implement, and the companies have already started implementing. So a farmer can take a photograph of a product from his normal mobile phone. There is a QR code, and from QR code he'll connect to the company. So he'll come to know that it is a genuine product. He can talk about that and understand the usage. He'll get all other things, goes to the company's app. So all those efforts are already being taken by the companies. Then there is a customer care number also on every bottle, and farmer can call the company, he can talk to the experts of the company. That facility is also available. And many of the companies in the trade, they have set up their call centers also these days. So in the local languages also you can talk, and now the technology is also supportive. We are working that the information which the farmer gets, he gets it in his local language. Even if it is the voice message, that voice message will be in the local language. We are working for that. So I believe in 2023, this type of breakthroughs will be very, very common, and which will like a farmer can get an assurance that whatever products he is getting, they are the genuine products.
Okay. Rajesh, do you are planning to bring out some new products in coming year, this year?
Yeah, there are a lot of products in pipeline actually.
Okay.
So more than half a dozen.
Okay.
Different type of products, insecticide, fungicide, herbicides.
Okay.
Everything is in queue. Also some biological products are there.
Okay.
So we'll continuously keep on giving these products.
Okay.
The idea is the way the farmer is using the agrochemical has to change. And I would say that the agriculture which is happening today in the country is more a traditional agriculture. When I say traditional, people don't want to change. They say, my dada used to do this, I'll do this. So if you are going to follow the same old process what Dadaji used to do, then it might become very difficult that the income which Dadaji used to get, that you are going to get the same income or more income. It's a challenge actually. So here what we want to discuss with the farmer that you have to change the practices, number one. You might have to change the crops also. You might have to do additional crop in your area. Like if we look at the central part of the country, which is a plateau. So sometimes I am talking to my teams, there are a lot of schemes of the government. Why don't you convert 1 or 2 acres of land into a pond? So that in the time when there are no rains, you can use that water for irrigation. So that is possible. There are a lot of schemes, but people don't come out of the traditions sometimes. Some people are doing it actually. Some people are showing a lot of, I would say, horticulture these days. They are making good money. The vegetable farmer is making good money. The people who are putting pulses as an additional crop, they are getting good money. The lands become fertile on one part. They get chara for their animals, and these days the fodder is becoming so expensive. All type of fodder. There are takers to the fodder of everything actually these days. So that is also a source of income actually for the farmer. So the farmer has to see that the things comprehensively, plan what additional crop he can do. He has to plan what inputs he has to use, because sometimes I feel that urea being very cheap, he is using excessively very high quantities of urea, which is not helping because it is getting drained into the soil and it is not coming to the plant. But since he has got habited in he has a habit, 5 bags, 10 bags, 12 bags, requirement is 2 bags, but he'll keep on using. So the wastage is also happening, and same is true with agrochemical also. In certain cases, when the price of a vegetable is too high, then he will unrequired quantities also sometimes he can use. So those are some challenges, but if the agrochemical used in the right way, then definitely the judicious use are going to make them more popular and definitely increase the income of the farmer.
Okay, Rajesh, I have another point to ask you. See, when we talk about farmers, everyone feel they're a poor community. There is no aspirations in them. What do you think, how we can change that image of this farming community, that they are just something compared to be a labor oriented class, from that to an entrepreneur community, feel that they are also a business community? How do you think that generation change can be made?
Sometimes I also feel the number of people who are into agriculture is too high. The lot of population is dependent on agriculture directly, and they are living in villages. If we look at the world, today the people are shifting to the towns, and I also, with the building of these roads, infrastructure and internet, the knowledge of people is going up. If we look today, the TV has entered into almost every home. They are seeing TV, the aspirations are already going up. The usage of data on mobile is one of the highest in the villages, which means people are consuming more and more mobile data, means seeing and looking at things. So young generation has already started developing, I would say, and that day is not far when the farmer is going to live in a town in a flat, and he is going to come by car to his field, take a tractor, do the agriculture and go back. So we also need to set our mindset, because sometimes we, whenever that image of the farmer strikes us, we think farmer is poor. He is not poor. He has to be rich. If we look at the value of his land is into crores. I may be having 10 lakh rupees land or a 1 crore rupee land, his land can be 10 crores. But he needs to capitalize, understand and do those things. So our farmers are getting the development, and the children which are coming into farming, they are more and more smarter actually. And with the resources and information coming in, I see that there would be a big breakthrough actually in agriculture, and the farmer is going to be richer. That is my thinking.
Yes, we'll be back with bigger this type of questions and answers with the industry leaders soon. Thank you.